Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Homegrown News, live from Las Vegas, or close enough by Henderson. Anyway, today we'd like to talk about politicians and tomatoes. Well, I saw in USA Today that they predict that in the next year, over 500,000 people will no longer be Democrat or Republican, and they will be voting as independents. I think there's a big reason for this. It used to be the grand old party was the Republicans, and that other party was the Democrats, and everybody was either with one or the other, and they were very proud and happy with what was going on. But lately, people aren't so happy. Nothing's getting done. Nothing's getting negotiated, and people are starting to believe that being associated with the Republican or Democratic Party is like wearing a t-shirt that says, "I'm with stupid." So a lot of people are leaving the parties and going the independent route. If you look at in the background, in the 1980s, if someone said, no new taxes, there's no way I'm going to vote for new taxes, you thought, man, this guy really knows how to stick to his guns. Or if you're outside of Texas, they really have principles. So you would really want to vote for them. But nowadays, when someone says, no new taxes, I won't vote for anything that has anything to do with new taxes, it's kind of a self-limiting prophecy that this person isn't going to do anything at Congress. They'll wait till the last minute when it's the deadline, and then they'll do nothing. And that's what's happened lately, and that's why people are joining the independent party, per se. I want to show you an example in the real world, well, almost the real world. If you give a newly elected senator $45 million to buy a tomato, and you have to give him a deadline because you know how that works, and you send him out to the store, and your deadline was 3 days, and at the end of that 3 days, right before midnight, they come back from the store with no tomatoes, you're going to be a little bit sad and upset with them. You know, you'd think you could get a tomato for $45 million, but it doesn't always work that way. And they'll tell you, I tried, but they just wanted $46 million, and I wasn't going to go to that steep level and pay that much for a tomato. So I brought back nothing at all. I really apologize, and I'm sorry, but I'll work harder for you next year. That only flies so long. Now, say you gave a female representative from House of Representatives, you gave her $45 million, and you told her to go out and get a tomato. And she comes back within an hour and a half, and she has a tomato, two things of cucumbers, and a head of lettuce. This lady just brought you back a whole salad. And you say, how much does all this cost me? And she says, well, I had to go over the $45 million. I went up to $46 million. But what I was able to do is either they will let us pay the extra million next year, or they will let me take it off on their next year's taxes. Well, this lady can negotiate, and she just got you a whole salad out of this deal. Now, you might be asking yourself, was she effective because she was a female? Maybe. Was she effective because she was from the House of Representatives and not a senator? Possibly. But was she effective because she didn't make any stupid, self-limiting promises in her candidacy and or during her election period, and which would keep her later becoming an effective negotiator when she gets into office? Obviously, she was quite effective, and therefore you have a salad. This method of non-limiting promises works for vegetables, fruits, and possibly even soups. So the next time you hear a politician say they will not raise taxes under any circumstances, or they limit themselves with their power in any way, you just have to look at them and say, this person, don't expect anything else from them either, because they are going to hold the line, which means you're not going to get anything done. And, you know, in the end, it's not even worth throwing tomatoes at them. Anyway, this is Mike Somebody from Homegrown News. Expect more in the future, and thank you.